One of the more common formulas that we've kind of gotten used to, or at least we're aware of, deals with percents. And percents are basically where we compare two numbers. So for example, a common formula regarding percents that you'll see in text say that I have A equals P times B, where A is some number and that equals the percent of another number, the percent of a base number. So let's look at a couple of examples of how we can use this, but we also might want to, at times, solve for the percent or the base. Right now, we're solved for the amount. So one example that you might see is what number is, I'm looking at my notes here, is 8% of 20. So there's a question we might have. So how do we recognize what is going on in here? Well, looking at this formula, we can recognize that A is an unknown. What number? So we'll just leave it as an A. My percent is identified as 8%, but we want to convert that to a decimal. So 8% as a decimal is 0.08. That's important. And my base is 20. So now I have a formula that says A equals 0.08 times 20. And then I could solve that down where my amount would equal 0.08 times 20 is 1.6. So 1.6 is 8% of 20. Now that's one way that we can look at these types of problems. Algebra also helps us, which is what's happening right here, is to rewrite this in some type of an algebraic statement. And so I'm looking for some key words that you might find helpful. So when I look at this, I see is. Is always means equals. 8% in terms of decimal is 0.08. This word of always follows along with multiplication. I have a 20, and then what number? We don't know, so that's typically the unknown variable, A or X or whatever we might use. I always like to use X. So this English statement translates to a mathematical statement. X equals 0.08 times 20, which is exactly this model that we had here. What number equals the percent of the base? So whatever is most helpful for you, I look at it in terms of translate the English to math. Some people like to work with percents by understanding this formula. They're essentially the same thing, but maybe one hits your right brain a little bit better or the other one hits your left brain a little bit better.